Hey everybody and welcome back. I am Titan9 and we finally got a new set coming out. Hopefully we'll shake things up. It does look like aggro might have a bit of a tougher time. I've had a lot of success with blue-green aggro if you've been following my channel, but I am very happy for it to not warp the format as much. We probably still have a wing 0 problem, but I would love a world where mid-range is viable alongside aggro and control. That would open up a lot of deck building space, and I think that would help refreshen the game. So I thought we'd celebrate the arrival of the new set with, of course, another sealed video to get you guys ready for all the sealed events coming up in your areas. Sealed is a bit of an odd beast in this game. The rules are you get to make a 30-card deck or 40-card deck. Some stores are opting to do 6-packs this time around. Officially, it's supposed to be 4-packs, and you make a 30-card deck with it, but you can also do a 6-pack 40-card deck if that's what your store is doing. We're going to do one game of each, and I'll walk you through how I evaluate cards, what I think are good, and then we'll do a test game to see how that all bears out. I am familiar with the cards, but not heavily studious, so I might be misreading something or make a mental mistake as I evaluate cards. You can sort of mock me in the comments below if you like. I haven't been super focused on Gundam because for the last, really month and a half because of my lack of interest in the format. You've noticed a drop down in the content I've been producing. I apologize for that. Hopefully we can kind of up production again because there'll be a lot of exciting things to do in the Gundam format. But otherwise, we're just going to jump right in. We're going to start with 4 based on the events I've signed up for. 4 seems to be the most common event, but we'll do a pack of 6 afterwards, so stay tuned. All right, let's check out our first pack here. We've got the Zagok E. Cyclops, there's a couple of Cyclops pilots running around, like down here. We've got Hardy Steiner, who's a pilot and a command, over the river and through the woods. Plus you've got Bernie. There's actually, I think all of the Cyclops teammates have a pilot. So I think Curve is something you definitely want to consider, but you also want to consider linking because just the ability to surprise your opponent is a big help. There is... In other formats, linking hasn't been super likely, so your opponents usually won't play around it. They might change this time around because of the Cyclops thing. There is a lot. It feels like there's a lot more than normal because they have a whole Cyclops package in here, which normally this is something like a starter deck that they might do. Like the Celestial Being cards in here don't play super well because none of the pilots are in here. I think you want to value links. And you want to value bursts because with your 30-card deck, you still have 6 shields, so 20% of your deck is going into your shields. So you want to maximize their value by including as many bursts as possible. So like pilots are pretty good. Sometimes commands with bursts will be useful too. Anyway, that's a long story. Worst case, even if you had no Cyclops pilots, I think a 3/3 at level 3 for 2 is totally reasonable to include in your deck. Wister Ario, Afam, is pretty decent. You don't get too much value for putting stuff in your trash. Looks like you have to do it, but the card searching at least can be helpful in a format where you guys will usually be living off the top of your deck by the end of it. You have some control. Also, he's got 2 units that you can link with, one rare and one uncommon, so there's a chance that you see them, and sometimes that +2 toughness can help you get favorable trades. You're going to be doing a lot of that in the sealed format. So this card, this Downs base, I like because it lets you bring back a Vegan card from your trash. You have to be able to pay for it on the turn you play the base, but you want to play bases anyway, and you're not likely to see a lot, so the fact that this base more than the others can give you value if you have Vegan cards in your pool is pretty useful. We have the Full Armor Unicorn. This stat line I think is good. Level 5 costs 3 a 5/4. You're not going to link it obviously because there's no Banagher links, but it's a good base buster, and it just is, it only costs 3. You could double spell on turn 5, this and the Zagaki for 2. That's a pretty decent turn there. This, maybe Unheralded Attack / Katz Kobayashi is okay. You have to have a base, though, to activate it. Like, resting a unit can be useful. There aren't that many I don't think he's got that many link targets in here. I'm not super overwhelmed by the the superpower block package in here, and I wouldn't even play this card on its own. That 1 toughness, I guess there's not a lot of ways to punish that, but and it does only cost 2. Like, maybe it's not terrible. You could bust a base if you put a pilot on it, but then they can just kill it with anything on the following turn, and you've got nothing. The cost of, if you have 2 or more superpower block units in play, it gets -1. Like, it already only costs 2. If you had a crap load, like, I guess you could drop this, you could sort of flood your opponent. So we'll keep that in the back of our mind, but 1 toughness things I'm very suspicious of. We got a big boy over here, the Justice Gundam Meteor Edition. The link doesn't matter, we're not going to get to do that, so it's just a 6/6 for 7. Not crazy about it. You can kill a lot of things without a pilot, so that's a consideration, but if you draw this early, you just can't do anything with it. There's another super big one, that the Ein Grazi, I think it is. That one is blocker at least, so it has some value. It's also a level lower and only costs 5. So, like, I think a lot of the costs and level guidelines for this are because of this link unit, which isn't going to be relevant here. Christina McKenzie, if you have the rare, I think it's a rare, maybe it's an LR, but the NT1, you get some nice value. Otherwise, you probably will have better pilots. The Nyan has a couple of pilots. Suits. One is, what am I trying to say? One is uncommon. There we go. So the other one I think is an LR though, but there could be something value here if you're running a Cyclops package. Like, you get to take advantage of that somewhat. It's not super likely though, but if you're picking between 1/2s, it might just be a wash, but it'll depend on what other units we open up. Again, we have this Hardy Steiner card. Choose one enemy unit that is level 5 or lower, deal damage equal to the number of friendly unit tokens in play. That command effect probably won't come up, so you probably don't want him unless you've got a fair amount of Cyclops things to use. He is only the Cyclops pilots aren't the highest attack units, but the link might be valuable enough, and you get a 4/4 out of it. That could be worthwhile. We have the Gundam Barbatos Adapt. Choose one of your units and one enemy unit, deal 1 damage to each of them. Pinging, I think, is useful. Like, great, it's a good way to get rid of Union Flag, but sometimes your opponents will trade up, or let me phrase that, trade for value. You know, they'll attack their 5/4 into a 3/3, say, and you can finish them off with that 1 damage. There isn't a lot of it, so they're not likely to play around it often. Also, when you play in a constructed deck, you have a reasonable idea of what could be in their deck. Here, like, why am I going to play around the Adapt, right? Like, they might not have even opened one. It's a rare. There's another card that pings. I forget what it is, unless I'm confusing my sets now. Anyway, I just think the ability to ping is useful because they're not going to be a lot of, like, 5/4s attacking into 2/3s. The cards are all kind of similar on the stat bases, and they might not have the luxury of doing that. So I think this 1 damage is going to get you some value over the course of your game. Worst case, you take out a Union Flag. This is a common. You might be seeing this from players too, as they might like the show and want to play it that way. They might like this 4/1 and get attached to that. Something to keep in mind. And then we have a Penelope middle form. Choose 1 to 2 enemy units with 3 or less AP and rest them. I actually think this is decent. The stat line isn't great for the cost and the level, but that ability could matter. A lot of players I noticed try to, like, rush you down. I don't think that's a great strategy in Sealed, because it is just so mid-range heavy that usually it's really easy to gum up the board, and you don't have a lot of ways to push through your little crappy units, and when you draw them later, like, that's a big liability. But if they do aggro you and they've got you down to, like, 2 shields, this is a good way to kind of clean up board when they vomit out a couple of low-level units. It's actually not even level, it's about HP. So I do think there could be value in this card if you're looking for a little bit of higher top end. There's no lane aim in the set, so you won't get to rush it, but I think it's still something worth considering if you open one. Again, you have to look at their curves. All right, our next pack, if you have a unit token, you get the unit, this Valiant, gets +1 AP. It's a 2/4 though, at a level 3 cost 2, so I think that's a great curve topper even if you're not making tokens, and there are a fair amount of 2/2s like this Farseer down here, so I think you'll get some value out of it. Another good card, like these level 2 cards, I think are fine. None of them are like cheaply statted. You know, they're not the level 2 cost ones, but I think you want to have plays as early as often, so I'm definitely would include this. I'd even include the Farseer, just to have that lower end curve. I don't think there's a way for me to play them out of the trash, or there won't be a lot of options for doing that. Well, I guess that's not true, right? We have that base, so, you know, not that a level 2 cost 1 with work is awesome, but it's still value at the end of the day. This Bound Dock, level 6 cost 5. Jared Mesa, so we obviously can't link it, but a lot of Titans units care about other Titan units, so having a preponderance of those can be good. And if you exile 3 cards from your trash, you can give this unit Breach 4. That's probably a lot of Titans units for a 4-pack thing, but it's certainly something to consider in the 6-pack thing. A 4-5 is decent. It's a slightly better stat line than our Penelope unit from the last deck, so something to consider. A 3-3 for 2, an X-Rounder trait. If you have the Asimu, that's one. If you find the Zahart, that's another one. You can do it too. But by itself, I still think it's a perfectly worthy include. The Karis Nautilus pilot I like, because there will be often times your opponent doesn't have a base in play, right? Because especially in the 4-pack version, because there's just going to be few bases that they open. We've only opened one in half our pack so far. So if they have an EX base, you still only get to be a 2-1 with it. But once you get rid of that, it's a 3-1, and that can turn your 2-4s into very mighty threats. It can do 2-3s, your 3-3s even. You can take out some bigger units. It only links with one thing, I think, in the set, but you really just like it because it's a 3-1 a lot of the time. Soma Pyrrhus, superpower thing, choose one enemy unit, it gets -3 AP. That's when it's destroyed. I don't love the effect, but if you have a fair amount of superpower blocks and you just want to rush with them, I think that's reasonable. It's a 1-1 pilot. Barbatos 6th form. While this unit has 1 HP, it gains repair 3. It's more expensive and a higher level than a lot of the other 5-3s in the set, but I think there will be ways for you to take advantage of that repair 3. So if you're trying to find some top end, I think this is pretty decent and probably better than the Bound Dock, depending on the card pool that you open. Seeing as we haven't seen a lot of Titan units in general, probably this is a good replacement for the Bound Dock. Another one of these Hardy Steiner pilots. Still haven't seen a lot of Cyclops, though. No, there's a Camphor over here, so that's pretty good. It annoyingly only works with the Mikhail, but the pair effect will work on any Cyclops pilots. You can choose an active enemy unit with 5 or less AP and make it their attack target. And as a burst, you can get a pilot back from your trash. It's not the best pilot, but any card advantage is pretty good. So this card is dead in your shields otherwise, so at least you have an effect if you burst it. The Immortal Colasar, Patrick Colasar. During this turn, if a friendly superpower block unit destroys an enemy unit with battle damage, choose one listed friendly superpower block unit that is active. I don't love the effect, and it's only a 1-0, so not crazy about Farseer. We talked about a Healthy Curiosity. This card's not great unless you open up many of them, which you're probably not likely to do, so I don't think you include this. Obviously, it draws one, but you might as well just have it be a different card, Theoretically, if you had a bomb, I guess it thins out your deck. I don't know what bomb would be worth including this, though. Alright, on to pack 3. Nothing super pairs well. We got another Cyclops thing. Ooh, in the Cyclops team base. If we had stuff that makes tokens, that'd be pretty good. Then we have the Din command type, a 3-4-4-2, reasonable stat line. Rao La Crusade is indeed in the set, so we could rush it. Oh, we did open in the same pack, the Rao La Crusade. Choose one Zaf base card from your trash, add to your hand. We don't have a Zaf base card now. There is one, the Yakim Due card, the level 6 base, so I don't love that. So it's really just be able to link it and turn it into a 5-5, but being a 2-1 makes it a reasonable unit on its own anyway. Another Karis, you probably don't need 2 in a deck. Bridge Crew. Choose one friendly unit. During this turn, it may attack an active enemy unit that has no pilot. I think that could be a reasonable card. This one says it's a rare. Might be, okay, I got 3 rares. There might be a little bit of a bug in the AI. I think Wavetable just put this up. I was practicing yesterday just to get ready for the events, and I had one that had a pack that had the same rare twice over here. So a couple of bugs here, but I think this card could be reasonable depending on what your sort of ratios are. Commands and pilots and bases and units. So, it's I think it could be good. It only needs a friendly unit, which you'll likely have. It can attack any enemy unit with no pilots. I don't think your opponent's going to be playing a preponderance of pilots because they can be dead cards a lot of the time. So I think it could have a fair amount of targets. The Ryue, choose one of your units, deal 1 damage to it. It gets +1 AP. I think this is all right, and there are an okay amount of Teiwaz, Tekkadan generic pilots. I think actually just Teiwaz, but this is certainly worth something. We got another Jupitrus base. Specifically wants a Jupitrus unit in play to rest a level 3 unit, but we just might need a couple bases anyway. Another of the Justice Gundam Meteor card I don't love. Eliminate Target is interesting. Has to be level 5 or lower unit, but a lot of cards are going to be. And getting rid of a pilot could kind of blow out some combat in your favor, so I think that's something worth considering. Another Immortal Coldasar. The Dual Gundam Assault Shroud. While this unit has 5 or more AP, it can choose an active enemy level 5 or lower as an attack target. It's a little tough to get the 2 on it in this format, but if we sort of pick our pilots accordingly, it might not be crazy. Karas does it even if the opponent has a base. And being able to control combat and attacking your opponent's active units could matter a lot. Alright, what is our final pack that we will sort through? Alright, the Messer Type F-02. When it's paired, choose one enemy deal damage to it. So, we need a Mafty pilot to rush it, but that's not a big deal. Just any pilot can do that damage. As I said, that 1 damage will matter in a lot of combat, so something worth looking at. I wish it had better defense, but that we'll have to weigh that against each other. Another bridge crew. It seems to think this is an uncommon or a common card, I guess. Din, command type we talked about. CQ, how would you pronounce that? Did they ever say that in the show? I don't remember. Anyway, 2-3, 2-2. We talked about the good card. Another pilot for our Cyclops units. Looks like we've only opened 2, though. But it does give us a token. If we don't want it as a pilot, we can make a 2-1 token out of it, which isn't the most exciting, but we have cards that care about tokens. And if the worst case scenario of it is this card's a unit, like that seems pretty decent to me. A 1-2 pilot again. This one works on attack, but it does need a Titans unit, which we don't have a huge amount of, so this might not be that much better than any of our other Titans. Any of our other 1-2 pilots. Another one of these Christinas, not great. Piece Million, like a 0-6 base, can be annoying in this format, but level 6 I don't love. But I guess like you're usually have the time, so yeah, this might actually be pretty good. We're not going to be able to use this effect unless you get one of those rares most of the time. So, have that in mind as you build your pools. Recco with Shadow, choose an enemy unit with 3 or less HP and you rest it, but you have to also... Oh no, you can choose 2 if you have a Jupitrus Link unit in play. So you're probably not going to get that effect, but there may be... If you have Titan Link units, this pilot might work fine on its own. The Freedom Meteor, once per turn, when your Triple Sip Alliance unit deals damage to the enemy, you may return an enemy unit to its owner's hand. So theoretically, this works with the Justice Meteors. We'd have to have 3 level 8 cards to make that valuable, and I don't think that's good enough. Red Gundam, deploy, choose 1 active clan unit, rest it. There aren't that many clan units in here, so it's probably not great. As a 2-4, it works with Nyan, though, if you open Nyan, which we did. And a 2-4 might be fine enough at only a cost 2. Awaken Power, choose 1 rested enemy unit, who has level 4 or lower, return to its owner's hand. If there are other ones, then you can give a unit blocker. You can choose one of your friendly units to have blocker. So probably it's really just sort of getting a tempo play on your opponents. That's less useful if we're a hard... Well, maybe it's actually fine if we're a control deck. You just slow down the game till you get to our big units, but I think we got enough low-cost units where we don't have to, hope we draw our cards in the right order. Alright, let's look at our pool. build the deck. I like to sort them by level to figure out the curve. Now, maybe some of you from other games, you're like, oh, I'll set it to cost, right? Because that, like, Magic, that's how we think of it. But some level 6 units only cost 2, but you can't play them on those early turns. So I like to sort them by level. And I start with the units. With 30 cards, you want sort of 19 to 22-ish area, 23. Maybe you could go as low as 18, depending on how good your command/pilots are or recursion abilities are. But you want to be able to kind of like always putting stuff on the board, especially since you're not going to be drawing a lot of cards and your cards aren't going to get a lot of value. So you just need a sort of a healthy amount of them. So I always start here first. But we'll take a quick look at the pilots, and we have Earth Federation, Superpower Block, SRA/New Type. We have that Nyan we talked about, who also counts... Oh, no, she's not a clan unit. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so she wouldn't work with our Red Gundam. Good thing we checked that. The Rowlock Crusade we like, and then a couple of 1/2s we weren't sure what to do with. But let's get our units first here. The 2/3s I like, let's put 2 of them. The Farsia, just to help with that curve. We want to be able to play stuff early. The Valiant, so we will have the ability to make a token. The clan cards make a token too. There's a clan command that does that. So let's put that in for now. This flag I don't love, but the Zagaki, we're going to have all those pilots, so let's do that. The Zetas as a 2/3 I think is decent, plus we can get it back with our base, so Vegan has kind of a premium for us. 3/4s I think will be good, because you'll see a lot of 3/3s around there, or 3/2s, so this lets you survive them. We talked about the Barbatos we like in the Pinger, the Camphor. We don't have the pilot that goes with him, but as I said, it does work with any of our active pilots, plus it's a burst effect, and if we can take advantage of bursts, since so many of our cards are going to the shields, let's do that. Another pair unit, so that's pretty good. If we have a pilot that's kind of mopey in our hand, at least we can get a little value out of it. This Red Gundam, we have an okay amount of level 4 things already, so maybe if we need extra units. This 3/4 might matter because we get one of our smaller units to be able to trade into something. I think I'm fine with that for now. I think we have a way to get this Dual Gundam Assault Shroud to trigger to proc its ability. So let's put it in there. The 5/4, just a good vanilla card, the full armor unicorn. Boundock was a maybe we talked about because we like this Barbatos more. The Penelope was pretty decent too, and maybe not these level 8s. So we only have 17 cards. We could run this Freedom package, but I just really don't want our hands to be clogged. But you know, for the... Like, I don't love a lot of these other units that we got. The flag doesn't link with anything. The Red Gundam's only a 2. We actually have most of our units in here. We just got sort of a smaller amount of units, I guess. 2 level 6s. Do I want this bound? We don't have enough Titans to really activate that. Alright, we'll try this high level package and see how it goes. That puts us to 20 cards. I might put in this Red Gundam anyway for good measure, but if we, for some reason, want 10 non-unit cards in there, I'll consider that. We have our 4 bases. The Cyclops, the Downs we know gets value. The Peace Million could be good, even though, again, it's another late game card for us. I don't know if we need 4 bases, especially since we probably can't trigger this Jupiter's anyway. I'm going to try 3. I'll add the Cyclops one because we do have a token that some value could come out of. Alright, what are our pilots in here? We know we have... Wait, where did the guy go? The, Steiner. He was a command pilot, right? He disappeared. Uh-oh. Was he not? Did I miss him? No, he's gone. He's just gone. What? Well, we know we want Rao. We want the 2 Karses. So that's 3 pilots. Where did he go? 4 with him? What? Just disappeared. 2 of our cards are missing. I don't love that. But I guess that's the world we're living in. We have 28 cards. I put 1 or 2 of those in there, and maybe the eliminate target and kick out something else to fit it in. Alright, well, you know. Perhaps the developer rushed to get this sealed on wing table, I'll send them a message in the Discord, hit the wing table Discord, and let them know that's happening. Hopefully it's a bug you can get to soon, so you guys can practice if you'd like. None of these. I guess we have a Xeon card. Well, that's only when it's linked. There's nothing to link it to. So really, any of these 1/2s matter. This is why we didn't get any of Wistario's units. That 2, I just think, will be better than any of these other abilities have. We want the eliminate target. The bridge crew, theoretically, we shouldn't have, because it's extra rares. So you could consider putting it in, but I think we're going to put another pilot, because we only have 4 at the moment. We'll put on the Izan. We do have a Titans unit, maybe 2. I could put in that Bound Dock as it's a Titans unit. What would I take out? The Penelope? One of these Justice Gundams, which is really to trigger the Freedom Gundam. Well, I guess it works on itself too. Okay, we'll go down 1 Justice Gundam Meteor and put in that Bound Dock to help the Izak do its thing. I'm sorry, Izan. Izak is from Seed. I'm sorry, Yazan. Jeez, my goodness. I've seen the shows, I promise. And we got ourselves a deck, so let's go and take it for a spin, shall we? Alright, what have we got here? Not a great curve, plus bases and commands. We don't want to see these early. Let's mulligan. The good news is, because of how the mulligan works, we should see our lower cost things. We didn't see our 2 cost ones. But at least we have something we can play on level 3. Sadly, we're going first, though. They did get to play. Oh, wow, they got 2 of them. Alright, they're going to aggro us out here. We got this unicorn again? Something's going on with the shuffler. Whole website's breaking down. Sorry, everybody, but we don't mind playing from behind. We're Titan 9. Oh, man. Full-on aggro. Decent. And then we do the high-level thing. It's all bad. We can only play 1 thing next turn. That's unfortunate. They're going to get some big hits on us. We're just going to get run over here. This crazy start from our opponent. These are the only one... Hey, alright, well, that'll do it. We don't get to use this effect, but it does keep us alive. And, alright, so this Dual Assault Trowel costs 3. It'll pair well with our Din on the following turn. Alright, they rested that for no reason, but, you know. I am on the, you can play sealed if you have the Patreon for Wing Table, but that also means we get the higher AI. I'll have to, with the new cards, the AI doesn't always know what to do with them. So it just is, he's got to program some logic for the AI and how to deal with these cards. Okay, but we can start picking off these 2/2s now. Fortunately, he didn't have something that can break the base super easily. We don't have any of our tap abilities available. We could play this to get a unit. This, yeah, maybe we'll do that. So we can play this plus our Camphor and get 2 units this turn and start clearing the board. Let's do that then. Well, first we'll attack. See, this is what I'm talking about, right? 3/3 attacking the 2/2s. Like, this will be common, so those 1 pingers will matter. Actually, let's get rid of the Hyzak, because this gets an ability later on. We don't want to give that repair. The other ones are just vanilla clan units. And we'll make a 2/1 unit. So now we're trying to keep up with our opponent here. Obviously, we would have loved to have been able to put it on the Cyclops team, but with the starter our opponent got, on the Camphor to get that Cyclops team ability going. But with the hot start our opponent got to, we've got to do something, and we got to do it quick. Oh, another base. Very lucky that 2 out of our 3 bases were in there. They are going big, though. They are going to be able to break that base next turn, especially if they have a pilot. Yeah, see, now we have a Link unit, but we needed that to make a token. We had to be efficient. All right, I can rush out this Din at any time with the Rao. So I guess I'll play this other 2-cost thing that we got. My Camphor. All right, we're going to get some good value here this turn. All right, so token, go in there before they can ping it dead. Anything attack? So, like, we have this Penelope. If they play a bunch more units next turn, we can tap them down and attack them at will. We'll lose our Zetas, sadly, and we don't have the base to get it back anymore. But we're going to be able to clear out all their tapped units. Okay. I could play this 2-2. The 3... Yeah, because then if I draw a pilot... Oh, no, I don't have any more pilots because those two guys disappeared. All right. If I had more pilots to rush out the Cyclops, I'd play that. Well... Do I want this Farsia to go into one of their higher level units? Yeah, maybe this is a better throwaway unit, the Farsia. Alright, so we'll do that. And we'll do the dual assault. Okay, and we could put the Karis on it to allow it to attack an active unit. They've gotten rid of our base though, so our shields are down. O2 unit doesn't matter. Okay. During your turn, the unit receives effect damage. Alright, that's probably never going to go off. Don't put this CGS Mobile Worker in your deck. Okay, so we're going to attack into their 4-2 with our 2-2. So that's some good value for us. Going to attack our... Let's see, 3-4 becomes a 5-5 with Rao. Plus I can play this... Full armor unicorn and hold up eliminate target. I'm gonna then I kill off all their units. The 0-2 can't attack. It's probably better, right? We don't really need to rest it at the moment. Okay. Attack the 3-2. We don't put a pilot on it yet because they might have a way to kill it next turn anyway. If they link a unit, but they only have one card in hand, so that's helpful. Let's get rid of their EX base, so our Karis is online. Nothing else really to do with this 4-3 anyway. Play the Din. Oh no, I did that wrong. Shoot. I needed the pilot on the Dual Assault Shroud to kill the Vertigo Gundam this turn. And then the Camphor could have attacked that one. I would have lost it, but... Rats! I am dead to Link now. It's unlikely that my third base is in the shields. Which means there wasn't a strong value in playing the Din command type this turn. So I might as well hold the Rao, because there's not a point in attacking, giving my opponent the opportunity to find that link, or maybe trying to rush them down is what I need to be doing. Alright, I'm going to play 5-3. Do I want to hold up the eliminate target, or do I want to attack with the Rao La Crusade? This is the only unit that links with it. Do I want to play around the link? So let's do the math here, right? If all of my units survive, because he's trying to all-out attack me... You know, I think we need to hold up the eliminate target, because if they put any pilot on the CGS, we're also dead to that. So, a bad misplay on my part. We could have stabilized, I think. Bad misplay. Okay, he is going to kill off our units. That's totally fine with us. He is going to play that card that's air in his deck. Let's see, the Rebo Colony. When you pair a pilot as level 3 or lower, choose one of the units and rest it. Okay, so if we had a blocker, they could rest it. We don't, so it's not a huge issue. Alright, we're gonna kill it with kill the Vertigo and Ashtaron with our... Oh no, this isn't the repair one. Dang, I don't have that one. Alright, well, it will still live anyway. It's the only one that will live, but it's also the only one that can break that base in one hit. Plus, I can play... I think I want to play the Penelope. And no, I might need this to take out more important units later, if he plays like 2 or 3 of them next turn. But I can't play multiple units next turn. I guess I could draw another unit I could play. And just accept we're not getting rid of this base in one hit. Alright, I think I'd rather them get rid of... We could put our Karis on one of them and get rid of the base that way. Or the Rao. Yeah, do we have a Oh, we can get this back. Okay. Yeah, alright. We're going to put the Rao on there then. So we're putting Rao on the Din. Oh no, I have to kill it first. Ah, another misplay. Alright, so it's when linked. So, okay. My misplays are costing me, but I'm making the misplays now, so you don't have to later. I guess now we will attack that with this so that we have 2 HP, so the one pinger can't get rid of it. It can obviously still get rid of the dual assault, but it is what it is. We're going to get rid of that. Alright, we're going to play this, another Zaft unit. Yeah, that Rao ability would have been big. Alright, and we still have eliminate target up if they put a pilot on the CGS worker. Yeah, and so the thing with eliminate target when it comes to link units is they play the unit, they put the link pilot on it. If they attack with it right away, you can't use it on it to stop it from being able to attack. Obviously, it's attacking. But if they attack with a different unit, you can then eliminate target on the link unit pilot and kill it that way. And then it can't rush you anymore. Does that make sense? Because it no longer is linked. It cannot declare an attack that turn. It doesn't like gain the rush ability for the rest of the turn. It has it as long as it has that pilot on it. So keep that in mind too if you have a link unit of your own and you're worried about playing around eliminate target. So either way, they could at best link one unit and they'd have to attack with the CGS worker. Either way, we get to kill that pilot on the CGS since it's only a 0-2 and survive and then kill him on the crackback. I guess if I give them a pilot here, they could have 2 link units. But then I'd get to kill one of them because one of them would have to attack first. Unless they separate it. They play the link unit pilot, then link unit pilot. But I don't think it's worth playing around 2 link units on the turn because, as I said, it's a little rare, especially in the 30-card deck. So let's try to salvage this, shall we? Because we're not going to be able to kill them next turn. Plus, if our Dual Assault Shroud lives... Yeah, see? Oh, you think so, huh? That pilot is dead. They didn't do it to kill us, though, which is nice. Okay, and we have the other one. The other high-level unit thing. Great. Okay, so this can't attack the the heavy arms annoyingly because it is level 6 and the dual can only attack level 5, but that's okay. We're going to try to kill him this turn anyway. So attack, kill him. Alright, and we have multiple ways to burst any base that they have. We have 2 5 attack units plus a Karis to give them another +2 for our dual Gundam. So we should be okay, I think. Most decks won't have a gazillion bases anyway. We got lucky that we had 2. Oh no! Oh no! Improved tactics. It dealt 2 damage. It was gonna get to kill 2 of our units, one of our units either way, so that was going to be tough to plan around. Level 4 or lower. Ugh. It's a rare though, so not the most worthy of playing around. Okay, so we definitely don't want to attack anymore. We'll be able to kill him next turn. That's level HP or less. Okay, none of our units have blockers, so the heavy arms isn't going to get free hits on us. Now we're going to play the Freedom Gundam in case something weird happens. This is like the worst card they could have for us. It's not level 5, so our dual Gundam can't attack it for free. And it's, you know, obviously has more than 3 HP, so we can't rest it with Penelope. The good news is they have to have Link Unit next turn to kill us. And if they have it, you know, they have it. I think we did a really good job of... They don't, because they're not trying to go for our throat. They actually have nothing they can play. Sweet. Okay. Let's try it again, shall we? I'm going to keep this duel up, because there might be some token thing that gets generated that I don't remember, and it might be helpful to kill it, should we need to. I guess our Meteor Freedom can just bounce it anyway. Alright, let's just kill it then. Let's go for it. If they have a base, we have 2 ways of getting rid of it. Alright, very good. Let's see what was in their hand, huh? All right, this card is not great. This privileged position. It just is too, like, obviously the burst is great, right? I'm all about bursts, and there was a Trey's Lady Un card from the first set that had burst. Draw one, and then if you played it, it dealt 2 damage to something or other. That one at least has a value, a effect you can use quite often. This one, you need to have a Titan unit. It needs to be linked. And you have to be battling an enemy with it and get value out of setting it as active, which means it's going to live, but also maybe be a blocker, or I guess you don't want them to attack it on the crackback. I just think this is just too much. This card asks too much of you, so I don't think it's worth putting in there. The AIs got over the river and through the woods in their deck. Why weren't we allowed to have it? All right. Anyway, decent, I think. A good turnaround from us. We obviously had 2 bases in our shields and they had none, so you can't always count on that. And sometimes your players that have 3 2/2s on turn 2 is just going to be too much for you. All right, but thanks for watching that. If you've got some events with 6-packs coming up, we're going to do that one next. All right, here we are opening 6-packs. You get to use 40 cards this time. Your decks are likely to have a little more synergy, yours and your opponents, and there might be some more link units running around, so those are all things to kind of have in mind. Let's open our packs. All right, what do we got here? If you don't want to see me doing this, you can obviously just skip ahead to the gameplay, but we have 2 unheralded attacks. Yeah, that probably shouldn't be happening either. We have the Gundam Kamar's Trooper mode. Choose a Gallicorn command card from your trash, add it to your hand. So that's a good way to get Galio Baldwin back if you have him in constructed. Obviously, he's not in this deck, so a 5/4. There are 5/4s we can find at a cheaper cost and a cheaper level, so probably we won't play this card here. Toward Destiny, a command. Choose a friendly Vegan unit and 1 enemy unit and deal 2 damage to both of them. The Vegans have value, and you can kind of buy them back from the graveyard, so this could be something that's useful. Veteran Tactics, choose 1 enemy unit that is level 3 or lower and return to its owner's hand. There are tokens running around. Opponents aren't going to have a bajillion of them, but I've liked playing this against the clan double token card. Obviously, we have that pilot last, or here he is right here, Gabriel Ramirez Garcia. He makes a token too, so I think this is a reasonable one to have in mind. Another of this Justice Meteor thing. The Gundam Heavy Arms, though, interesting. I think the fact that it can get around as we saw, it was hard for us to interact with because of its level and its HP. That might be a reasonable reason to include it. I did just say I don't want this 4/5, but there is a chance that this Heavy Arms actually does get effect because your opponent might have some blockers. Record Shadow we talked about, Christina we talked about, Sea Gundam Flight Form. When linked, deal damage to all units, so this is really just a 4/4. Nothing crazy. Providence Gundam, that would have been nice with our Raoul La Crusade last game. But it works with any Zaf pilot, though again, I think there's only the 1 in the set. And all your Zaf units get +2. But when it attacks without having a pilot, you choose an enemy unit and deal damage to it for each 4 AP the unit has. So like we talked about in the 4-pack draft, or sealed, that's 1 pings could matter, so I think that is a fine enough reason to include it, even though it's got the high level and cost. It certainly is likely to do more than just be a 6/6 like our 8-level things were last time. All right, we got the Mikhail, but again, don't have our rare, sadly, but we do have this High Gog that does care about Cyclops and does care about being linked. And if you have another Cyclops team unit in play, you get a token, so that's pretty good if we can find some more Cyclops units. We have opened none in the first pack. We have the 0/5 base Dorothea, and it's level 4. Reasonable. During your turn, your opponent's turn, when one of your units is rested by one of your opponent's effect, choose 1 enemy unit and deal damage to it. Probably would do nothing in the 30-card decks, but in the 40-card decks, they might be able to get that Titan package together. So this actually might have some value in this type of sealed format, so that's pretty good. We have a Din Commander, so our Raoul Crusade stocks go way up now. We do have a couple. We have the Dual Assault as well. And Mikhail is good because he's +2 if we need to for the Dual Assault. Also, when he attacks, one of our Cyclops units get breached, so this is a pretty good Cyclops pilot to have. He is pure pilot, where the other 2 non-Bernie ones are commands, but that's why he gets that plus attack bonus. GM Sniper, a 2/3, but it's level 2, so I like that. This 5/4, see, this is already the better than that rare from the last one. This Barbatos 5th form, ground type. 5/4, level 5, cost 3. I like that stat line in sealed. The Masala with repair 2. It's only a 3/2. There aren't a lot of one-attack things, but if you put a pilot on it, you could get some value off of this. Also, cards care about Jupitrish, and there are a fair amount of Jupitrish pilots. I think we saw a Rekoa, so I think that gives a good consideration. Now we get the other level 8 thing, Freedom. Dual Assault, we talked about Farseer, Hygog. All right, Gundam Barbatos. Yeah, this is the Pinger ones. Probably to include that. Isle Strike, Blocker, which is just good on its own. If you have a Triple Sip Alliance in play, draw 1, then discard 1. We're unlikely to play this after we play those high-level things, and we certainly wouldn't want to hold it in hand, most likely, until we do. So that just a 3/4 blocker, though, I think is enough. For a level 4 cost 3, that's reasonable to me. I guess now that we have 6-packs, we are more likely to find Cyclops units. Messier, so we talked about this, that ping damage could matter. Dotridge Flyer gives us a token. There are cards that bump up tokens. If we can draw those, that's pretty decent. But a 2/3 could be okay enough on its own, depending on the curve. Warped Intent. During this turn, all units paired with a pilot get +2 AP. It's just pairing, so maybe, but I don't love it. 2 Veteran Tactics. That's another thing, another hiccup from the AI, just the program itself. GM Sniper 2, we already like that card. Eliminate Target, we saw be very useful last game. Distant Reunion, Urine Lucille. We have her card that she pairs with, so that's pretty decent. And then as a command, we can choose a friendly unit paired with the next round of pilot, which we don't have any yet. And I think it's only Asimu and Zahart. I forget what his first name is. Gillian, Zahart, something, Gilbert, something. Those are the only 2 I can think of besides her. So if we give one of them, it can't receive battle damage from units that have 2 or less AP during the battle. But if we're level 7 or higher, it can't receive battle. So the command probably won't come up. But her being able to pilot our 2/2 Farsia might matter a little more. Plus it's +1, so we could hit a base. 6th form has repair 3. We've talked about that one. A Machine, during a link, when it's destroyed, if a friendly white base is in play, choose one enemy unit level equal to or lower than this unit and return to its hand. That's a lot to ask for, and I don't think, even in 6-pack sealed, I don't think it's likely to come up that often. Improved Technique, we saw kind of wreck our day. I think this will be good, just to be able to deal damage. I think, because like you saw, there's going to be a lot of lingering damage on units when your opponent gets good trades. So I would include that. Zadra, High Maneuver. When paired with an X-Round pilot, we have 1 as of now. You can choose 4 Vanguard cards from your trash, exile them, and destroy an enemy unit level 4 or lower. They have to be Vegan, though. We don't have a lot of Vegan cards yet. I guess she counts as a Vegan, but we need the pilot on her anyway. And it's a 5/4, but level 6 costs 5. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how the next half of packs go. This bridge crew thing. All right, so we could go aggro 2 with this 2/2. I forgot about this one. So it's this one and the clan one, I think, are the level 2 cost 1 2/2s that we got to worry about. Ooh, another Farsia. So the purple pilot stocks go up a little bit. A lot of these other cards we've seen before. Another Mikhail is good. Gundam NT full armor. So I think we had the Christina. I forgot. I forgot. Destroy. Choose one enemy unit with 3 or less AP and rest it. This lets us control combat. She doesn't even need a pilot, so that's pretty good. The 0/6 base could be helpful. And we have our heavy arms that it could work with. Okay. We're seeing some synergy here. Gundam Virtue, support 2. That could matter. When this unit deals battle damage to an enemy unit level 5 or lower, we're probably not going to have a CB pod. So it's really just a 3/3 with support 2. Maybe it's overcosted at that point then. The Sea Gundam Flight Form. We had one in the first pack, didn't we? Not ideal. All right, the Bound Dock we've talked about. Hyzak Custom we've talked about. This would work with our Rista Fair, or whatever his name is, the 1/2 purple pilot. Oh, here he is, Wistario. I only saw the movie once, and it was recent, so I don't fully remember his name. While the friendly base is in play, it gets blocker. Okay, that could be decent, depending on how many bases we've opened. Bridge crew again. AEU Enact Demonstration Color, just a 2/1. This unit can only attack during... Yeah, alright, that card's not great. It can only attack when we play another unit. But you can rush it, but you still need to have another unit on the same turn. I don't love this card in Constructed either. Ryusei we talked about. M-Machine, 6 form. Oh, another Urine, so that's pretty decent. Dual Gundam, Barbatos Adapt we've seen. And now we got the Gundam Exia. It's got suppression, so that's pretty oppressive in sealed when your opponent's not going to have a lot of bases or blockers. And when this card destroys an enemy shield card with battle damage, so we're probably not going to have 10 CB cards in our trash. So we're not going to get to do that. But the 6/4 suppression might just be good enough on its own. It's a good closer. Alright, Messier we like. Auda's Magwanac. There are pilots for this in the set. We haven't seen them. Oh wait, no there aren't. Just the Magwanac guys. If you are attacking an enemy unit, this unit gets +2 AP during battle. I think that's very good. Right, because it can't break an EX base, and we probably wouldn't use it to break a 0/5 base, but it's really good for trading units. So I'm a fan of that. Yeah, Wistaria would have been great. We have another one of these Hajiraboshis. Oh, okay, we got another... We didn't get a lot of Cyclops units, though. We got a 3rd Heavy Arms. Oh, we did get the Wistario. Great. Okay, I love that. Izan might not matter. Anything else? Palace Athene works well. We have 2 Rekuas, I believe. So that's pretty decent. 2 Titan units from the trash. Exile them to rest an enemy unit. I don't know if that will matter, but just being able to link a 6/3 could be good enough. And a 2nd Isle Strike. That's sweet. We have Graham, but when this rested unit, when it's linked, when it set as active by an effect, yeah, it's asking too much to just return a unit to its owner's hand. I don't care too much about that. Okay. Done. We're not going to get to do a cool Cyclops package, it looks like. But, again, we're going to sort by cost. And we're just going to... So, it's sort of a similar ratio. You want to be about 30-ish units. Because, again, you just want to be able... We got an O. Oh, no, sorry. Not the O Gundam. We got a 0 Gundam. Or it is O Gundam. But it looks like 0 in the typeface. Alright, anyway. Probably want that. We want this Audas. The Dotris Flyer. Maybe. We want the 2 Farsia. We want the... Oh, I had it at cost. I wanted it level. That's why everything looks weird. The GM Snipers we liked. Auda... Dotris for... Now? We don't have anything to boost that token, though. But I guess we put a pilot on it. Alright, we have the Wistario, so we'll take the 2 Hajiraboshis. Worst case, it could have blocker, so we might put in more than 3 bases to get that effect, and it links with a pilot, so I'm all for that. Full Armor Gundam, rest of 3 AP unit. Maybe. Well, I think we have the Christina, right? Yeah, alright, we'll put that one in. Make sure we put Christina in. Want Wistario. And our commands, we know we want... We got 3? Okay. I guess we got 2 in that one pack accidentally. We know we want these 2 distant reunions. Maybe Gabriel. We got a lot of him. Improved... I know there are like some like we definitely know we want those in there. We know we want these pilots. We talked about that while we were looking through the cards. We talked about wanting improved technique. We only have the 2 bases. Ruh-roh. So we're probably not going to have blocker, but at least they're both decent bases, right? Our Dorothea is likely to have... Maybe likely is too strong a word, but there's a better chance than not. There's a better chance than normal that it could have an effect in sealed, because we're doing 6-packs, and the Peace Million, I think that 0/6 could matter. Because basically anything needs a pilot until level 8. Okay, so we have 7 non-pilots as of now. We could probably fit in another couple more. Maybe this Mikhail. If we just don't seem to have a lot of Cyclops stuff. Isaac. We like. We have. I think it's just the Hygog. Is that the only one? There was one other one, I think. I might have made that up. I'm confusing my sealed pools, I think. We know it's green. Yeah, okay. We don't. That's unfortunate. Okay, the Masala. We have the 2 Rekuas. Oh, that's right. We want Rekua. Wait, where is it? Now our Rekuas are gone, too. We definitely had one, right? I wasn't sure about the one from the first pack. Where are our cards going? All right, I bet there might be some felt table hate in the comments. You know, it's a one-man operation. He's doing the best that he can. But the point is, we would have put in those 2 Rekuas if we had them, because we had 2 units that work with them. The tapping might also be relevant. It would have been pretty helpful in that first game, even though we were still able to pull it off. And that, I think, 31 units and 9 non-units, I think, would have been pretty decent. Well, we definitely want our 2 blockers, but we knew that anyway. No Rao, but it's still a fair stat line, this Din command type. The Barbatos we like for that pinging effect. This also, the Messier type F2 has a pinging effect, so does the Ryue. So we're going to get to finish off a lot of our opponent's units. We might want the 2-1 pilots just because, which we only have 3 of, the Mikhails, just because to help with our duelist route. Also, just our lower units become more dangerous. I guess that's the compromise we'll make. So we'll put the 2 duels there. Barbatos 5th form, just a good stat line. Palace, well, we don't have the Rekua now. I like this less. I don't seem to have a lot of Titans. Barbatos 6th form. Do I want all 3 of these heavy draw in case I get the... I don't think we have that many Vegans cards to take full advantage of that either. So we know we want the Exia. Don't have any pilots for this Providence, but it still does damage when it attacks, so I guess that's fine. We'll say 2 of those for now. 1 of this big Barbatos. Maybe the Palace Athene and the Boundock, because we have units that care about Titans. Maybe the Izan is pretty decent there then. We have 42 cards now. 77666. And that +1 AP probably won't matter. And we actually don't have that many. So maybe this Palace Athene isn't worth it then. We're not gonna, neither of those really. We're not going to get either of those effects off. This one at least can hit a base in 1 hit. Very sad to not have my Rekua. He makes tokens, but like doesn't link with too much. All right, let's look at our high cost things. Like this 5/4, level 6 though. What are our level 5s that we didn't include? I guess that's why it's level... Okay, we'll get rid of the Boundock because it's level 6, and we want more things to do on turn 5. I don't think the Virtue is it, though, so it's just Palace Athena, and hope that we have enough low-cost things in hand to play those. And then get rid of the Izan, or Yazan. Jesus, Izak is throwing me off here. 31 units? Alright, well, let's go with that. Sad about losing the Rekuas, but let's begin. We are playing first. We don't have the best deck for that, because we didn't... Oh, we did draw one of our level 2 cards, so that's pretty good. Let's see. Level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. Alright, we're doing pretty good here. We will not mulligan. We got something to play every turn. And that's a good card, too. If we can get this Hajiraboshi down early enough, our EX base will turn it into a blocker. They have nothing to play, so that's looking very good for us. Alright, we will end the turn. Rekua taps our thing for no good reason. They got Rekua. We didn't get Rekua. Gosh darn it. We have our Dual Assault Shroud. They have a 3/3, so it's not really a good reason to attack into that EX base. They could just chew it up on their turn instead. So we'll play our blocker and just chill. Next turn, yeah, we'll play this Ryue, deal a damage to the Farsia and have it kill that Zetas. Then I lose my blocker. Alright, I guess we'll hold back on that Ryue. I just want to make sure we get value out of that blocker while we can, because we drew another blocker anyway. Good deal. Oh, and we have the shield. I forgot we had the shield. But, like, we only have the 2 bases, so if we lose that EX, it might not get to be a blocker ever. Maybe it was worth it to do that, instead of playing this 2/3, to have a 3/4 unit in play. And then I have a 3/3 that can get rid of their base. Yeah, maybe I lost the forest through the trees in that regard, but we got kind of bailed out by drawing this Isle Strike. So we'll play that. We do not have another one of those units. I didn't even include them in the deck. I'm happy to block here. If they've got a pinger, you know, they've got it. They don't, so that's sweet for us. We're going to get to block that Zetas, most likely. I am going to deal the Ryue now and finish off that EX base. Is that worth it? Because I'm not going to do like a massive attack this turn. Alright, I'm going to play Big Boy Barbatos, and they're both 2/3s, but this one does something if it's destroyed, so alright, we'll play you. Oh no, I have Christina! I should have held that one. Play the GM Sniper. When I draw it next turn, I'll be very annoyed at myself for not taking an extra second to think about it. We will block. I'm fine with that. Alright, a 2/3 that could deal damage, so that's why I'm fine blocking with it, right? Because this Isle Strike could go at any time. Okay, this is interesting. Distant Reunion. Can't receive battle damage from enemies 2 or less this battle. But it needs to have a pilot. Alright, this probably is just a link unit. I'll hold on to it in case I draw the other one. I guess I'm going to play these 2 units. And then next turn play Providence. So they attack their red Gundam into this Farsia, and it only has 2 health left. Yeah, maybe that's not ideal. I put Distant Reunion on it, though. And now I can finish it off with the one thing. I don't want to ping it, though, because then this Messer could just kill it off for free. So do I ping the full armor? Then the red Gundam gets to kill that one off. Am I playing too cautiously here? I don't think so. I will play Duel. I will play GM. I will hold up this Distant Reunion. I'm not going to attack with Gundam Barbatos. Well, I am going to have this unit to kill off bases later. I'm going to hold back. I'm going to just play this like aggro and just try to have a big monster turn. I've slowed them down a fair amount. So let's see. Hey, you get a pilot. That's pretty good. Alright, that'll work great with our Dual Assault Shroud. Especially since I can kill this 4/4. Is that what I want to do with it? Just like clear their board? I have so many cards in hand. Well, we've used... Have we used both of our... No, we only had the one. Okay, we just had a second blocker to go with it. Yeah, our 2 attack things aren't looking great in the face of this 2/4. But I can get rid of this, but then they can kill it with the... I'll just have to kill this turn, I guess. Alright, we have a 5/5 now here. We will attack their 4/4. We have no one to give breach to. Alright, we're gonna make... Do I want to do that? Again, I'll make them have the pinger, I guess. And Providence Gundam here. We have chosen to play the control role, which I think will be fine. Because we have so many units on board, we are just going to get to kill them in 2 turns. When you rest, G-Defensor, when you rest one of your units effect, when you rest your base, you can rest this unit instead. Okay. We have another 5/4, so that's pretty sweet. Do I want to throw this away? I don't think so. They can't kill us next turn. Unless we give them a pilot and then they have 2 link units. That doesn't seem likely. Gonna do it to the 3/3 and then throw our 2/2 in front of it. Alright, and then we're gonna bust some heads here. So now we put them in a position where they're going to have to come at us, or we're going to get to kill them. Next turn. I'm saving this 5/5 for later. Obviously, we know there's that card that blows it up, but my attack gets sort of stymied if they have it, and they're more likely to have a base than to have that rare card, which they did. They used it on the wrong thing, though. Dang. Yeah, why'd they want to kill that? Oh, it's level 4 or lower, that's why. No, this is... What is it? You're level 4. Oh, you're level 5. Okay, great. So we didn't have to play around it. Sadly, we don't have any units, though, to kill on their turn, so it sort of doesn't matter. All right, none of our units can link. And we have this Dorothea... if they find a way to get through our stuff and we're not able to kill them next turn. Playground type... We're going to play Ryue just so we can have a preponderance of units on board, dealing our damage, I guess, to you. If they want to take you out, then so be it. And we have a couple pilots if we need to boost somebody's attack strength along the way. Plenty of ways to break bases. They are trading, as we hoped. Yes, and their hope is that they survive this turn. Do they have a blocker? They have a base, but that doesn't matter because we have 2 5-attack units. I'm attacking with this Gundam Barbatos 5th form first because they have another one of those pinger burst things. That card's not super helpful. We drew the Doubtress Flyer. It'll make a token that we can put a pilot on if we don't survive this, if we don't kill him this turn, to still have 6 units attacking next turn, depending on what they choose to clear. But I think we got this one. Yep, they have the base, but that's okay because we have our second 5 attack, but if they... it was sort of good. These are both +1 pilots. And we kill them. Okay, they had another base in hand, a 3/1 unit, and a 1/1. Okay, great. So we played that one a little slower, just to control the board, even though we were kind of even for a bit. I judged my units were better, plus we also had an awkward thing where we had a lot of 2 attack things, so they couldn't hit the base in one go, the EX base, and their 2/4 could have eaten them up for free value, and I wanted to avoid that. But then we just did the aggro game plan of going wide and then trying to hit them all in one beat. And that it took us 2, obviously, but like they weren't able to attack us because they were going to be dead. So we picked the right turn to go wide and we used our resources effectively. We didn't get much value out of the Ryue, but I think it was still worthwhile to hold it in case that opportunity did come up. And then when it became more valuable as an attacker, that's what we did. I hope this was valuable in whichever version of the sealed events that you will be going to. And I hope you get some great pulls out there, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend.